what I'm talking about. 5 million! And then you back up again. I need to do that, John. Then you back up on it again. You know what I'm saying? So the intensity, then you back up on it.
Snake Wood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
When you learn how to play the game, you won't be tripping on the outcome. It's not about winning or losing. It's how you play the game. That's a lot of metaphors that talk about life and games. 3 strikes you out, all type of them. When you do something great, it's a slam dunk or a touchdown. Anytime you start something off, you kick off. But with no further ado, let's see what the game of life has been up to. Trying to learn something.
Let's be honest. All this you call life, did you ever really understand it? Or did you just hop on the moving train like everyone else, pretending to know where it's going? Look at yourself. Always so busy, so serious, so proper. You check your email as if your existence depends on the outcome. You get angry when someone is late, as if time were a personal offense. You strive.
I hate tardiness. If we have an agreement to meet at a certain time and you don't respect that time, that is a pet peeve of mine. Oh, my mama.
To seem stable, functional, coherent. But deep down, you know something doesn't add up. There's an awkward silence behind your achievements. A silent suspicion that accompanies you when no one's watching. You can't name it, but you feel it. It's that pang just before falling asleep, that emptiness between one goal achieved and the next. It's the question you never dared to ask. What if all this was a farce? What if all your seriousness, all your suffering, all your rules were just part of a game you don't understand? What if the big secret is that others don't understand it either but act as if they do? Think about it. Since you were little, you were trained to obey rules nobody wrote. Smile, be quiet, sit up straight, study, get a degree, work, save money, get married, have children, buy something expensive so it looks like everything makes sense. But does it? Really? Because if all this made sense, why do you keep feeling like you're on the wrong stage, reciting lines that mean nothing? Why does every step you take toward success make you feel emptier, more disconnected, more artificial? And why, when no one's watching, do you surprise yourself wishing everything would collapse?
More money, more problems.
Just so you could start over. There's something they haven't told you, something they don't teach but you sense. And when you discover it, you won't be able to go back. You'll see it everywhere, in the way people worry about absurd things, in the anguish with which they cling to their roles, in the ridiculous way they take themselves seriously, as if the universe were evaluating them.
Part of the principles of Jita, gratitude is the attitude is there's no need to stress. We are totally content no matter how far we want to progress. At each and every moment along the way, we are absolutely content. We are grateful. We are thankful. Jita, gratitude is the attitude.
As if life were an exam, but it isn't. It's a game, a very well-disguised game. And you didn't even know you were playing. And here comes the truly twisted part. They've convinced you that winning the game means being taken seriously, as if respect only comes with gravity in your face, dark suits, complicated words, and a furrowed brow. As if growing up meant stopping laughing, stopping dancing, stopping playing. Do you realize? They taught you that being an adult means being predictable, that freedom is dangerous.
I find it ironic that they rush to mature on the inside, But on the outside, they do everything they can to preserve their youth when they don't realize the inside is the most important out of the two every time.
That spontaneity is immature, and the worst part, you believed it. You killed the child who played in the mud so you could fit into gray offices. You buried them alive beneath your pending tasks, your obligations, your serious goals.
That's deep because some kids grow up and get big trucks and motorcycles and just so they can get right back out there in that mud. So maybe being an adult allowed them to get back to that inner kid. They go out there and get dirty on purpose on my mama.
And now you live like a character who doesn't remember their script. You pretend all this has a clear purpose, but it doesn't. And that's not tragic. That's liberating. Life is not a novel with a closed plot. It's constant improvisation, a dance without choreography. And you know what the problem is? You keep waiting for someone to tell you the steps, for someone to validate your moves, for someone to applaud you before you dare to be yourself. But no one will come. No one will. Because everyone is too busy trying to look confident, like you. Because everyone, listen carefully, everyone is improvising. Only some do it with fear, and others with art. Now, there's something else, something not talked about. No one tells you that inside the game there's another, more perverse game. One where you not only have to act, but also compete. Compare yourself. Measure yourself. Against what? Against an illusion. Against false versions of others. Against carefully edited projections of people as lost.
Shout out my homie Infant Sad. I just got off the phone with Cuz. We was having a conversation where he questioned me why I only follow so few people on Instagram. And I was just explaining to him how I'm absolutely, utterly, uberly uninterested in any and everyone's activities outside of our own. My intimate circle, I only follow my artists and my business pages. And my boy Herb, Chili, he make me follow him. He ain't going for it. So I follow him. I love him with all my heart, but I wouldn't even follow him if he didn't personally really, you know what I'm saying, appreciate it on my mama. Because I just got a thing about being distracted. I'm on some laser focus. Oh, my mama, I like to keep that number as small as possible. So the things that I have interest in business-wise, when people come look at me, then their interest can go to them. Oh, my mama. The only person outside of my business interest that I do follow is my broski Chili Eastside Herb. By the way, though, like,
as you. You see others winning and think you're losing. But you're not in the same game, not even on the same board. And what do? You run faster, smile wider.
My game got slightly different rules. I got 6 kids. My game is no matter when, whenever, where, they hit me out the blue and say, can I get, do you have, I need, I'm on deck. And as long as they don't catch me off guard, but I'm winning my game on my mama.
Fake better. Until one day you wake up and realize you don't know who you are without all that. You've mistaken your disguise for your identity. And that is an invisible prison. What you don't know is that the game only changes when you change the rules. And that starts by stopping pretending that winning matters. Stopping the race toward a finish line that doesn't exist. Because there's no trophy, no podium, no judge. There are only moments, instants that you can fill with tension or with play. And here comes the uncomfortable part. No one is going to give you permission to stop suffering. No one will applaud you for being free. Because when you free yourself, others feel threatened. They don't know what to do with you. You're no longer predictable. You no longer fit. And that makes them uncomfortable. Because your freedom reminds them of their own prison. And do you know what they do when they feel threatened? They call you immature. They accuse you of not taking life seriously, as if suffering were a virtue, as if rigidity were a form of respect. But it isn't. It's just fear. Fear of chaos. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of what others will say. Fear of dancing without a score. And there's the key. Because when you learn to live without a score, when you accept that life is improvisation, when you choose to dance instead of march, something breaks. Something inside you is freed. You no longer need to have everything under control. You no longer need to understand everything. You no longer need to win. You only need to be present, alive. And here's where the game becomes magical, because you start to see things with different eyes.
Pay attention, y'all. This resonates with me. This ain't losing me like them scientific conversations do at times. This is my spirit spoken by another person. This is exactly how I think, thought, feel, felt on the inside. It's the thoughts that I usually keep intimate that I don't share. Can't believe he is articulating them. This seems so personal for me. Oh, mama, I don't give a
You no longer see enemies. You see characters. You no longer see failures. You see chapters. You no longer see obstacles. You see stages. Everything changes because you changed. Because you stopped being an obedient pawn and became the player. Now listen carefully, because this is important. The only difference between the one who suffers and the one who plays is the level of attachment. The former believes what happens defines who they are. The latter understands everything is a temporary performance, that nothing is as serious as it seems, that everything can be explored, questioned, transformed. And that understanding, that conscious detachment, is not indifference. It's wisdom. It's depth without weight. It's presence without rigidity. But to get there, you have to cross a threshold. And crossing that threshold is violent, because it means dying to everything you believed you were. It means looking the void straight in the face, sitting with uncertainty, embracing the absurd. And that's scary. That's why so few do it. That's why most cling to their mask, even when it suffocates them, because letting it go is like jumping into the abyss. But what they don't know, what you're starting to suspect, is that there is no abyss. There is air, and whoever jumps doesn't fall. They flow. And then something brutal happens. You discover you can act without expectations.
I've shared this before. One of my moments that Steve Harvey had on camera that I really appreciated, he was having like a very intimate conversation on one of his shows with a female guest. They were sitting in two chairs, podcast chairs, but the chairs are quite close together. As I recall, they were slightly at an angle facing toward one another. And they were talking about goals and dreams and aspirations. And it was a very, just candid, casual conversation. And out of nowhere, Steve Harvey just that's why it went from regular to in minutes, in seconds, he went from, he got choked up and said, well, things about chasing your dreams. And I'm paraphrasing. He said, if you stand up on that hill, on that cliff, if you don't jump, sure, you'll be safe. You won't get all beat up by the rocks and get all cut up and break no bones. That's good. He said, but if you don't jump, you'll never, and he got caught up, choked up, big lump in his throat, fighting back tears, and he couldn't even fight them back all. A couple of them dropped. He had to wipe them. He was like, you'll never soar. You'll never, if you don't jump, okay, yeah, you might not get the beat up, broken bones, the scars and the bruises. But guess what? If you don't jump off that cliff, you'll never soar. So you got to take that chance. You got to roll the dice. Roll the dice, Noonie Green, new single, go run it up right now.
Love without guarantees. Create without needing approval. Live without explanations. It's like waking up from a dream, like realizing you were pretending gravity in a world that floats. And suddenly, you start to laugh. Not a mocking laugh, not a nervous laugh, a deep laugh. That comes from a place you didn't even know existed. A laugh that laughs at nothing, but laughs at everything, even at yourself. because you understand that what you called a problem was just a scene, that what you called failure was just a plot twist, that what you called life was, in reality, a play in which you were always the author.
I was waiting for a gap to say, basically he's saying life is a movie. My life is a movie. It can't get close to me. But he said a play. I'm glad he said a play. So y'all know I wasn't copying him. I was gonna say movie. Oh my mama.
And finally, you stop resisting. You stop playing the role you were given. You start writing your own. And if you do it well, if you do it with courage, the whole world changes without moving an inch. Because you have changed. Because you have understood. Because you no longer need everything to make sense. It's enough for it to have play. And here comes the craziest part of all. When you accept it, when you embrace it, when you really live it, you become dangerously free. Because you are no longer manipulable. You are no longer domesticated. They can no longer use you against yourself. Because fear loses its power when you understand losing doesn't matter. Winning means nothing. The only thing that counts is how you choose to play.
They've been telling us that since we was babies. It's not whether you win or lose, but how you play the game. And that has to be true, y'all, because there's way more people that don't get to win in particular activities in sports, no matter what it is. The winners are limited. That's why the homie said TMC, the marathon continues, because you've never seen someone complete a marathon and not be excited. From the first person to the very last person, they show the same exact excitement when they finish the marathon. TMC, on my mama.
And you, how are you going to play from now on? And just when you start playing, you realize something even more unsettling. That others are not ready for that. They look at you weird. They watch you as if you were dangerous.
I ain't never and never will have bought a pair of $500,000 or more jeans. I remember when jeans went up to around 100 with the Chabos. I was like, damn, I kept up with that. Man, I'm right there. I'm not, man, I wish I would pay in excess of, $100 and some for some jeans. For what? For what purpose? I don't get it. Y'all crazy.
Because in reality, you are. You represent what they don't dare to be. They can't classify you, and that destabilizes them. Because the world, as we know it, rests on a shared lie. That everything must be taken seriously. The system needs you to be afraid, to feel shame, to obey without asking too many questions. But when you no longer seek approval, when you no longer need permission to live your way, the system cracks. Because you become an anomaly, a crack, an error in the matrix. And through that crack, the truth starts to slip in. An uncomfortable but liberating truth. You can be yourself, even if you're not what's expected. You can stop fitting in and still keep walking. You can make mistakes and not feel guilt. You can choose a weird, twisted, improvised path. And that path, precisely because of that, is the most yours. Here is where many stop. Because the most challenging moment arrives, sustaining your authenticity in the face of noise. Against those who call you selfish. Against those who accuse you of being irresponsible. Against those who need you to return to your emotional cell to feel comfortable. And there appears an even subtler trap. One no one warns you about. You start playing, yes, but deep down, you're still waiting for someone to say, well done. You still want recognition. You still...
Oh, my mama, boy. Be a single father. You will get over that looking for the recognition on Father's Day. The day after Father's Day, the same kids who you think like, they really don't think about me like that, will remind you that they think about you with their hand out. Oh, my mama. And they really appreciate it. They really love you to death. But it's just, Everybody's life is their own movie. For real.
Want others to applaud your freedom. But if your game depends on applause, then you're not playing, you're acting. And the true game begins when you understand you don't need witnesses. Now take a deep breath, because here is where everything gets deeper. What if I told you that even your most intimate thoughts, those you believe are yours, are also part of the character? What if the voices in your head, those that judge you, that pressure you, that push you toward perfectionism, weren't really yours? What if they were echoes of everything you heard as a child, from your parents, from your teachers, from television?
That's exactly what it be. Because once you like stop trying to live up to all that, me personally, I realize I don't give a fuck about much of none of what everybody be on. I don't give a on my own. I just don't give a
From culture. You've been shaped by so many external opinions that you can't even distinguish what you truly want. You think you know yourself, but you don't. You only know your conditioning. And that is the next level of the game, to unprogram yourself. Unlearn. Question every impulse, every I have to, every I mustn't, every that's how I am. Because many times, what you say you are, you aren't. It's just what you learned to be to survive. And here begins the most brutal internal game, the one played in the shadows, where there are no spectators, no guides, no medals, where you meet yourself without masks, and that isn't always pretty. Because at first, what appears is chaos, emptiness, doubt. But if you dare to stay there, not to flee, not to cover it up with distractions, something miraculous happens. What seemed like fear transforms into curiosity. What seemed like confusion turns into possibility. And what seemed like loneliness becomes pure freedom. Suddenly, you know.
Oh, my mama, until you know what it is to fall asleep at 8, 9 p.m., wake up at 3 a.m., wide awake, and be able to jump in your go outside, go wherever you want, do what you want to do, and not accountable to absolutely nobody, you don't know what freedom is. Oh, my mama, when you realize there's not nobody in the world aware of what I'm up to right now. Well, except my kids who got my location at 24/7. So only a couple of the females, the boys don't be tripping, but my girls, they want to know that low. If you move anywhere out your routine, you finna get a FaceTime text and they want to ask you why you where you are. It's a good thing to have some daughters, man. Oh, my mama.
No longer have to maintain an image. You no longer have to prove anything. You can simply be. And there arises an authenticity so powerful it needs no explanation. Because true authenticity does not shout. It does not justify. It does not decorate. It simply manifests. And when it appears, all that is false begins to crumble around it. That's why it bothers so much. Because when you live without a mask, you remind others they could also do it. But they don't dare. And here the game becomes spiritual, not religious.
I went through that when in my community, everybody thought I was a rich, famous rapper. And then I got right back in this community, looking at everybody every day in a regular, everyday struggle, looking them in their eyes, chest out, head up. Ask them, ask these streets, Southern California streets, where they see me at, what I'm like, whether I'm in a fly whip or a bucket, whether I'm geared up fresh or if I'm bummy, I'm hopping out. I just bumped in the fast lane fig, dude. I keep bumping in the car in Compton around a gang of Crips, flamed up too. Asking, oh, my. Here's to tell you, nigga be out here not giving a fuck what nan person's perception or expectation is of me, bro. I'm just out here, east side easty, on my mama.
Spiritual, because it's no longer about external goals or social validation or results. It's about connection with the moment, with your body, with your breath, with that part of you that doesn't need to win anything to feel alive. And when you settle there, you discover something very few understand. There's nothing more revolutionary than a human being playing. A human who laughs when others tense up.
J-Rock my cousin, but it seems like out here in these LA streets, I always bump into Fig Newton and J-Rock. I don't know why. Oh, my mama.
Who dances when everything falls apart. Who improvises when everyone follows the script. Because that human becomes an unbearable mirror for others. A mirror that doesn't reflect what they are, but what they could be if they stopped being afraid. And just there, when you've understood everything, when you finally feel free, you realize something no one told you. That freedom isn't a destination. It's a constant exercise. It's a choice you have to make every day, every time the world invites you to go back to the character.
They can say what they want to say. I ain't gonna lie. I think marijuana helps with the motivation of this type of mind state too. TMC, the marijuana-thon continues.
To take yourself seriously, to harden, to disguise yourself again. Because they never stop inviting you to that party, to that theater. And it's tempting to go back. Very tempting. But there you are, holding on to the invisible. Playing while everyone else acts, laughing while everyone else pretends, living while everyone else survives. And that is true mastery. Not escaping the game, but learning to play it consciously, not destroying the rules, but moving within them with grace, not fleeing chaos, but dancing with it, like a lucid madman, like a wise person disguised as a child, like an unarmed warrior who has understood there is no war, only theater, only movement, only life. And now, the question is no longer what you will do with your life. The question is, will you keep acting, or will you finally start playing? And while the rest keep competing over who appears more confident, you become a brilliant anomaly. A rarity that doesn't want to impress anyone but ends up leaving a mark on everyone. Because, while they struggle to be remembered, you simply choose to be. And that being, that pure, simple, free gesture, is what has the greatest impact. Because no one is ready for someone who no longer needs to prove anything. No one knows how to react to someone who laughs in the middle of the fire, who dances on the rubble, who breathes deeply when the world shrinks. And the most brutal thing is that you can be that person. You don't need a degree to achieve it. You don't need a star to shine on you. You only need to give yourself permission. Break free from that programming that told you everything must hurt. That if you're not suffering, then you're not progressing. And there, right there, begins the silent revolution, the most powerful one. Because when you stop taking everything so seriously, you disarm collective madness. You interrupt the script. You interfere with the system. And every time you choose play over judgment, you open a crack in the structure, a crack through which air enters. Light, laughter, love. Because yes, love is also part of the game, but not that dependent, anxious love that demands and begs. The love I'm talking about is free. It's pure presence. It's surrender without fear of the outcome.
Personally, I only experienced that love in a parental capacity. My parents toward me, myself toward my children, and my grandchild, and my children toward me. The love he describing, that's where I experienced it.
It's looking at the other and saying, be whoever you want to be, and I'll keep dancing by your side without...
I told my boys that only two things they can't be, gangbanger, and the other one ends with a Y and start with a G. My daughters, I ain't give them no parameters. Oh, my mama.
demanding anything. That kind of love can only be born when you stop pretending. When you empty yourself of the character and simply play at being you. So, at this...
But to keep it a Google, as I mature, be seeing what certain people go through from a parent's perspective, and I just know what it is. I don't want them to hope they never see this one, but if my boys happen to, I know they never will, God forbid, but if they did some skedaddle and went that way, I now don't believe I'll turn my back on them. I just don't.
At this point, answer yourself with brutal honesty. Are you willing to let go of everything that binds you? Are you ready to look at life without the glasses of duty and see it as the open stage it really is? Because if you're not ready, it's okay. The game will still be there waiting for you. But if something inside you lit up, even if it's a spark, then there's no turning back. You've seen too much, you've felt too much. And now you know you can live without the weight of, I have to. And now that we've made it this far, before we continue, I want to present the following to you. Our book, The Formula of Awakening, is now available. Do you feel like there's something inside you that wants to awaken, but you don't know where to start? Then I invite you to transform your way of thinking, and with it, your way of living. Discover who you can become. Start today. The link to get the ebook is in the first pinned comment of this video.
There's no need. I woke up and rolled the dice on life. I was living like a villain till the price got it right. This all liquor and I'm light on ice. My feet hurt and my shoes tied tight. I've been standing on business my whole damn life. I hit the Slauson and bought rings like Mike. What is costing? Nothing much, some light. Try to take it, it just might cost your life. You did a whole lot of barking, I ain't never seen fight. I was 15 on a bike, phased at the pike. I was 15 with a knife, swinging at your windpipe. Pull up, just to see what your chin like. In the back of the Chevy with twin pipes. I mean the back of the Chevy got twin pipes. No headlights, running through the red lights. It's a bullseye, head rat, Dubai, bird's eye, yo, everything moving with my third eye. Fall in, I'm logged in, no Wi-Fi. And don't call in till the price right. Swerve it in my lane and get you sideswipe, red dot. You bet not, nigga, you bet not. I had a thing smoking like jam rock. I've been like this since the sandbox. I talk like this cause I can. I woke up and rolled the dice on life. I was living like a villain till the price got it right. This all liquor and I'm light on ice. My feet hurt and my shoes tied tight. I've been standing on business my whole damn life. I hit the Slauson and bought rings like Mike. What is costing? Nothing but some light. Try to take it, it just might cost your life. I've been standing on business my whole damn life. You took the stand as a witness, told your whole damn life. Who, me? I've been tipping shit my whole damn life. If I ever paid a fee, it was a real low price. Right. I still whip it in the old kitchen, the stove clicking, I don't leave no dishes. Old smitten, get the hitting like 4 switches. Pole fishing, dead end on a cold mission, more business. You know the O's different, it's real chunky, and it blow kisses. It's a widow, it don't have no misses. No interest, run off with the 10-piece gypsy. What the lick read till it's empty, tricky. I speed off in the 10-speed gypsy. What the lick read till it's empty, tricky. I speed off in the 10-speed. I woke up and rolled the dice on life. I was living like a villain till the price got right. This all liquor and I'm light on ice. My feet hurt and my shoes tied tight. I've been standing on business my whole damn life. I hit the Slauson and bought rings like Mike. What is costing? Nothing much, some light. Try to take it, it just might cost your life.
And wow, well over 80 miles an hour, creeping up on 100 miles an hour. You can see it just flying by these cars. And it is not only dangerous to those other drivers, but certainly dangerous to this motorcyclist. You know, these cars, the drivers don't know that it's coming up so fast. You can see, wow, that motorcyclist appearing to kind of stand up there on the motorcycle there for a second. But, oh my gosh.
Snake in that puzzle. Big shout out to SPI, spotter load. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.